Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson. Yay, coming to you from the beautiful Hawaiian beaches. Yeah, on the big island of Hawaii. I have Bob on right now, and I just told him about some epic hikes that I've had. One was this morning, or two this morning, and he was talking about how he saw what was going on with the hikes, and he said, well, it's so good that you get out of the house, right, Bob?
Right, yeah, there's a whole world out there, San
Yeah.
Francisco, you went to Patrick's Point, Trinidad, the Redwoods, and yeah, and you get
But
home and
partying.
that's right.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing though. I don't get out of the house because it's not like that at all. It's like it's not like you're in anything. It's like that. It's like everything that you perceive is projected from you. So whether or not I seem to be getting out of the house isn't really relevant to me since it's projected all from me. It's,
Everything is coming out of you. You're not
yeah.
coming out of anything.
So it's not really possible to go anywhere. It's
Uh-huh.
not actually possible to go anywhere. But I mean, basically, what we're perceiving is the imagination. There's not a place like that, like you actually go anywhere. I mean, I did experience it, or I did not even experience. You can't say that. It's like it occurred to me that I purchased a ticket, and then it occurred to me that I boarded a plane to go over there. Or you know what I mean? But it's not as if that really needs to take place. It's just that the cause and effect that's set up in the mind that's based on a misperception is that this cause and effect has to happen before it's possible for me to perceive myself in San Francisco.
I see.
Isn't
Okay.
it funny?
Yeah.
But that stuff is like not stuff you have to try to go after because all it is doing is arising in the imagination anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it may seem as if you are, see, it's not about the perception, it's about the way you take it, the way you look at it, the way you think about it. See, it's not about the perception itself. So you could have the perception of yourself, like maybe getting a job and getting some money and doing and going and making the appointment and all that kind of stuff, but that is only just happening. You're not actually doing that stuff.
You're
See?
right. You're not the
It's in your
doers.
mind. Yeah, it's in your mind where if you identify as if you are the one doing that stuff, then it's like you have to figure shit out. And who wants to do that?
That's right. Omniscient, all-knowing mind has a better plan. So.
It's so easy. It's so much easier to just let it be how
Mm.
it's going to be,
Mm-hmm.
and not acting like, wow, that was really fun. I have to really make sure that I get to do that a lot. Now, what do I have to do to make sure that I'm going to get to do that more? You know,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
or something like that. And it's just like one example about how it starts to go off the monkey mind,
Mm.
and it
Yeah. Well,
doesn't do anything. And
you know.
here's the thing too. Here's what makes it easy. Here's what makes it really easy. When you're pursuing those kinds of thoughts, those kinds of monkey mind kind of thoughts, it feels shitty,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So whenever it feels shitty, you can allow, you can just allow some relaxation, as in relaxing whatever you're taking is true right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once
Okay.
you once you relax, whatever it is you're taking is true right now. You get this sort of almost like you've ascended.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're transported out of the world, out of feeling. Look at this. You're transcended out of feeling the make believe world and into feeling reality.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Well, they say the past and future and time is horizontal,
Yes,
and the now moment is vertical, where you go vertical. They say the way out of the maze is to go up.
yes, that's right. And all it takes is It's relaxing your grip on concepts. Or you
Mm,
can say it's more of a stopping than a doing anything because you're not interested in pursuing stuff.
mm-hmm,
You lose interest in pursuing those thoughts, pursuing them.
mm-hmm.
What TF? But WTF? I don't know what you're saying WTF about, Lori.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. She just wrote WTF. Okay.
Mm.
Thank you. Ah, that's fun.
So I wanted to discuss this post that you had in Facebook where you say, "You as a perfect creation are finished being created. You have no need for improvement, expansion, maturity, or growth, nor are any of these things possible. All of your creations are likewise perfect and not in need of improvement, expansion, or change."
Yay.
So, but now what I'm exploring in my life is this idea of transcending survival by form. So any kind of improvement, expansion, maturity, or growth is all within the realm of form. Form
Yes.
grows and dies, right?
Yes, yes.
So
Like a
then,
plant. Like a plant.
like a plant, right? But is God in reality dependent on a form for its existence? It seems like God is completely outside the realm of form. God doesn't need a body. God doesn't
Right.
need air. God doesn't need
Yes.
any kind of form or phenomenon for God's existence, right?
Yeah, it's the
God.
opposite way around. The form needs God.
Right. So then the idea how we can transcend survival by form is that we are not dependent on form. Form is dependent on us.
Yes.
That what we are is space consciousness. That we
Okay.
as a, we're a awareness, awareness, and that space of awareness requires no form. That the awareness generates the space in which form is created. So that's why we are not dependent on form. We can transcend survival by form because form is dependent on us rather than us being dependent on form.
That's it. That's it.
Right.
Totally
So,
we've been conditioned to see it backward.
right. We've been conditioned to see it backwards because, we grow up, we're
Because we
born,
wanted
we wanted to.
to. Yes.
Yeah, well, I guess we wanted to, they say we wanted to experience limitation to transcend the limitation. That's why I'm talking about transcending survival by form, because, we need all these things for our body. We need, all these forms and phenomenons, and it's easy to step out of it once you get into the clear state of pure awareness that you as the perceiver, the witness, the seer, the observer, that no phenomenon exists without you being there to perceive it. This is what the quantum physicists and everything are discovering, that, the tree that falls in the forest, is there a sound? And the answer is no, there can be no sound without a perceiver to hear it. So then seems to be the ultimate freedom, to where you have no need for any kind of, as you say, improvement, expansion, maturity, or growth, nor are any of these things possible because you are totally, as a being of pure awareness,
Right.
have no need for any phenomenon that needs these improvements or maturities or growth.
Yeah.
And so it's eternally unchanging. That's just it. It's always, it's called the infinite invisible, that who you truly are is invisible. You have no form, that you are just pure awareness, pure space. You talk about a room that has four walls, but the four walls only contain space. The room is the space that the four walls contain. And
Mhm.
that space has no requirement for walls. The space cannot be hemmed in by walls. Space is always infinite and unlimited, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Right. So then this is what I'm getting inspired, this idea of transcending survival by form, you know.
Yay! How fun! I'm with you
Right.
on it.
Oh, good, good, good.
Yeah, I love it.
That's that's wonderful. Yeah, because as bodies, we need money, we need food, we need all these, you know,
Hmm.
physical things for our physical self and everything. And it seems like, you know, when you talk about evolution or something, it just seems like that this is the ultimate form of evolution, to evolve beyond evolution, the evolution of form, into just pure spacious awareness. And then you kind of gone back to zero, the invisible, the nothing, and then from there, then new expressions, new creations can manifest.
Well, here's the thing. It's not manifest anymore though, because because it's like manifest. You have to have some guilty concepts that are believed to have manifest. So it's more like just an extension of who you are. It's just
Mm,
love, you know. It's just like it makes the manifest lighter and lighter until there is no need for manifest.
mm,
And
mm-hmm. That's
that's what's referred to by the happy dream.
mm, mm-hmm. Yeah. So then you say that what you perceive about yourself and your creations being imperfect and in need of something is a dream based on a fundamental error. That error is the thought that you are not yourself. It has caused you to accept an imposter identity as your own and to make dreaming possible. So yeah, so we our true identity, which is this infinite invisible space of awareness, and
Hmm.
that is what God is. That's why we are all God. We are all
Yeah.
the source above and beyond all form and phenomenon,
Yes, definitely.
because God has no dependence on form and phenomenon for its existence. And
Exactly.
that's what we are. We are
Hmm.
that
Yes.
also.
We're pretending like we need it. Like every time we're acting like we need it, and we're acting like we need it because we were able to make it really seem like we need it. So we have to act like we need it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like it makes it like a almost like a knee jerk reaction that okay, you made it like it really seems like it. Like it really seems like you need food right now. You're hungry. You feel hungry. It's not like you are hungry, but you feel like it. You totally do.
Mm.
you know and it's like there's nothing wrong with getting the food. There's no problem with it, because that again is the manifestation. That is not where it is. It's in the mind. It's in the thinking process about it. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, it seems like I need food, but do you really believe that? Just because you're eating food, does that make you believe it? It's a perception.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
You still do not need it, and it's coming to you according to, you can say, what's the most beneficial to you, as in for seeing through guilty obsessions.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be easeful and light and comfortable for you, you know, as you um, allow your energy to be uplifted, is one way of saying it. Or you can say, allow love to cast out fear. When you find yourself in a fearful emotion, recognize that fearful emotion is food for the ego, you know, to make fearful perceptions, to make more fearful perceptions. But the fearful perception that came first.
Mm.
They're fearful. That fearful perception, you don't have to project onto it. That's projecting. You know, there's a fearful perception comes and it triggers a fearful emotion, but there's no need to feed that more.
Mm.
To make it grow, to keep on believing in the thoughts that hold it down.
Mm. Well, the fear is about survival. I mean, if you're not dependent on form, you don't, there's nothing to
And
be afraid There's
Yes.
nothing that can threaten you. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal
Nothing.
exists.
Yes, that's why you're, you basically you are invulnerable because you're not vulnerable to threats, that perceived threats causing you to project emotions that are basically asking for more fearful perceptions.
Mm.
That's like, it's like a total protection.
Mm. Right. Well, there's fear and there's love.
Because look, what makes a fearful perception is not what happens on the surface. It is not what happens on the surface. It's the way you're taking it that makes it a fearful perception. Like, say here's for instance, you just got a letter from the IRS.
Mm.
Look at a perception that where it's like this fear that comes up, this fearful perception comes up. It can be seen completely different, completely reinterpreted into something else where it's like, oh, there it is. There's
Mm.
that fearful perception, and knowing what your function is in that fearful perception, because when you're in that, you could say in that, it's not really, true like that. Fearful perception, you have a choice to recognize that that's really an opportunity. It's not that there's a problem, like as in the IRS, getting the IRS letter is really a fearful thing. It's
Mm.
not. Your reaction to it, your fearful reaction, is a conditioned reaction. You don't need a reason to relax. All
Mm.
you need to do is stop believing the thoughts that make this perception of getting a letter from the IRS fearful. See? It could be anything. It could be you can't find your keys. It's another one. Look at the perception. It comes up like, oh, this shouldn't be happening. Nothing shouldn't be happening. Nothing
Yeah,
shouldn't.
but it's only that imposter identity that can fear, that can be threatened.
Yes.
Because you're false.
Yes.
You because you're afraid of dying or whatever, and that fear exists because you don't even exist in the first place.
Well, you don't. You totally exist. It's just that you are taking yourself to be something that you're not. You're
Right.
taking yourself to be this identity that really doesn't exist and is just a thought form in your mind. That identity really does not exist. And when that identity is threatened or appears to be threatened, and you know that it appears to be threatened because there is an uncomfortable emotion in your body's energy field, that is the identity right there. That's the identity.
Mm-hmm.
It's showing itself right there. That's false. Whatever it is, whatever it is believing right now is not about you. So
Mm.
you can offer that up, like as in, I've heard it said, lay it by the river, because
Mm.
it's not really about you.
Yeah. Well, it's the false identity that thinks it's about the false identity.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
So then, yeah, we can go forward and into more freedom and fun.
yes. That's right. That's right.
So that, yeah, that's the whole idea that, we're not limited by anything external to us. Anything external is limited by us.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So when you feel excited to someone or something about anything, like, I don't know what makes you feel really excited, whatever it is makes you feel really excited, and then you see some um, buts coming up, but I don't have, but I can't do, but this, but that, but this. Notice that that is one of those self-identifying perceptions. That is not about you.
Mm.
Again, you don't depend on those things that it seems like you need to manifest what you think it would be
Mm.
awesome. You don't need those. You don't need those things. The thing
Mm-hmm.
is, the thing is, it's like they need your belief in them to even be necessary in the first place.
Yeah.
They
Well,
need they need your trust in them to make themselves available. It's like, it's funny.
Yeah, so then if we're this infinite invisible awareness, all the things that are visible come from this infinite invisible source.
Yes.
So then, what you live in with the source of creation, and what do you need of any creation itself when you're the source of it, the invisible that creates the visible, the intangible that creates the tangible, which
And
is
that
just
is how
pure
it is. It's
awareness.
like you don't need it. Just because something sounds awesome to you and something that you would like, you don't need it because it's like as soon as you've imagined it, it's basically occurred in the mind.
Mm, hmm.
And for it to occur as manifest, that's the simple part. It's just that there's all this resistance to it.
Mm,
You know,
right.
there's
You think
there's
there's
so
obstacles.
there's so many things all day long that cross your mind that, oh, that would be fun, oh, that would be fun, oh, that would be fun to do. But for a lot of people, they limit that by saying that it takes a certain amount of money. That's a very common one.
Mm, hmm.
It takes a certain amount of money or time or, I don't know, good looks even. Who knows?
If I'm going to get that girl, I got to, whiten my teeth, huh?
Becoming a more motivated person even.
Mm, hmm. Right. Well, that's all lack. Any desire is an acknowledgement of a lack that you need something because you're lacking something. And
Yeah, and when you say desire, that word can be taken some different ways. Desire is one thing without attachment, you could say.
mm,
It's like, oh yeah, that sounds really good. Like, wow, yeah, they have really good tiramisu over there. That sounds good. Or I have to have that fucking tiramisu, or
mm,
else
mm,
I'm gonna be a bitch.
mm. Right. Well, that's the attachment to it.
Yes, exactly. It's like, oh yeah, that sounds fun. And
Mm,
it's like you don't see. Here's the thing: when a so-called desire arises, you don't really know what you want.
mm,
It's just pretend. It's
mm,
just pretend. Like if you really want it, you're gonna have it. Let's say it that way. If you
mm.
really want it, you're gonna have it. If it's just that you want other things instead. Like you really want your belief that you don't have enough money for it more.
Mm,
So then that's what has to come up.
mm. Yeah, well, that's just it.
You
Everything
can't
that you
help it.
experience in life is first born in your mind, in your
Yes.
imagination, and then it's manifested. It's just like, the invisible to the visible, the H2O that is steam, water, and ice. So there's the invisible, steam that translates into the fluid mind and then solidifies into the tangible ice of sensation, of actualization. So it all comes from spirit, mind, and perception into the visible form.
Yeah, well, it's just arising. You can say it's just popping up.
Mm.
Popping
Hmm.
up, you know. And it's bubbling up. It's bubbling up right in direct relation to how we feel.
Aye, right. That's it. The feeling. The feel.
Yeah.
The
The
feeling generates the phenomenon.
Yeah, and everything is a feeling, and the whole perception is made up of a body sense.
Mm. Hmm.
Even the feeling, and the feeling, what is the feeling made of? It's also made of thought.
Right. As thought comes before feeling, right?
Yes, it's also made of thought. And it's given to you in a way that you can understand what's going on.
Mm.
It's like a gift because without that you wouldn't know what was up.
Mm. Hmm.
So you can understand like what's going on here as far as energetically. Am I leading myself more into delusion or am I accepting reality based on how you feel?
I see. Right. If it feels good, uh, the joyous and loving, then
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you
It's
like.
not the order. It's not the order in which they come. It's not the order in which they come, Lori. That's That's the perception that they're coming in that order. But a feeling is made of thought. So that in that way, the feeling always comes after thought because it's made of thought. In your own perception, you might not perceive that it's made of thought, of course, because it looks like it's the other way around. You know, it's like whatever you're perceiving in the perception could be all different ways,
Hmm.
while at the same time, the thoughts make up feeling. They are
Hmm.
also made of thought. And they're a gift because they show you, because you can sense them, you can feel them, they show you the resonance of the thought they represent. Whether or
Hmm.
not you even know what that is, it doesn't matter. Doesn't You don't know what thought. You don't need to know what the thought is. It's showing you by the resonance that it represents a thought that defiles you. So you don't even need to know what that is.
That
All there
defiles?
is that yes, that you don't even need to know what that thought is because you could tell by how it feels. So
Hmm.
then there's no need to search it out or anything like that. It's just right there in that instant, accepting that there's been an error. One way of saying there must be a mistake, or I must be mistaken, another way. Let me see another way. Not
Hmm.
just automatically assuming that something's wrong, something must need to change, anything like that. It's just automatically just recognizing that there must be an error. Let me see, kind of approach, and it reveals itself because that feeling that goes along with it, that feeling is like pressure in the body. It's like pressure, and when you allow that pressure to be released, it's like you're transported feeling wise, because the whole thing is a feeling anyway. See? So even though you're having the perception of a world of separation where, it takes an airplane, for instance, to get over to Northern California, it seems like that's the case. Even though it seems like that's the case, you know that it's not the case because you can feel it because you let yourself feel it all the time.
Hmm.
You let
Hmm.
yourself feel reality all the time. Well, all the time, as in right now.
Hmm. So the
Yeah,
error is just a misconception through misperception. It's just an erroneous concept that you have
yeah.
about
Yes,
something.
yeah, it's not even it's
Correct
not even that
yourself.
you have it. Let's not even say that you have it because you don't really have anything. It's just coming up on a pattern completely impersonal.
Hmm.
It's a coming up like that and saying, "Here I am." This means something, and if people will identify it like it's mine, it's my whatever, that's my sadness coming up or whatever, but it's
Hmm.
just passing on a pattern completely impersonal. And when it's just looked at it like that, as in looked at like this is impersonal, then it doesn't have the kind of effect.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's not yours.
Right. Yeah. So that's the false identity that attributes it to itself.
Yeah,
And
you're out of that play right away. You're just out of that play.
hmm.
You don't
Hmm.
have to you don't have to engage that.
Hmm. Right. You don't have to just engage love.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's like that love is just who you are.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's not like you have to do any work for it. Basically, stop working, stop pursuing the thought that's like kind of driving a wall between you and love, as if you guys are separate.
Hmm. Hmm. You're always already in love. The truth.
Yes, it's like driving a wall between it. Just to, stop going after what is separating you in your mind, only in your mind, not for reals, from love.
Mm. Hmm.
See?
Right.
And since the separation is only in your mind, and it's only made of thought, and it's only a feeling, the separation can come down in an instant. That's why it's like you have ascended.
Mm.
And the thing is, you can keep on allowing that. You can keep on allowing that. It's not like you just ascend once.
Mm. Hmm.
See? Because it's like it, you could say, you could call it the enemy. I've heard Christians say it like that. It sounds kind of weird, but you don't have to fight it or anything. It sounds kind of weird, but it's kind of on it, like it's like as far as how it can be seen. It's like uh, letting that you could say God of fear have authority over your mind.
Mm. Well, the enemy is the error.
Yeah, exactly. And it's made out of that error. It's made what's called an ego. We call an ego a lot, you know. It's made that. It's made the ego. And,
Mm.
it's also made of thought, so it's not a threat at all. It's
Hmm.
not a threat at all. The ego needs fearful feelings. It needs fearful feelings to make fearful perceptions. There are no fearful manifestations. That's not really true. But there
Mm.
are fearful perceptions. That's the way you take the manifestation.
Hmm.
Okay? The fearful perception of it. But, that being said, in reality, there is no harm being done. As in, you can't perceive that. You can't have that perception. Kind of a perception of any kind of sickness or death or murder or meanness or conflict or anything like that. You just cannot have that perception because it doesn't even exist.
Mm.
See, you have to have you have to have a error being believed in order to perceive that in the first place. So when you just have that perception and you have acknowledged that you're having that perception because of an error being believed, it uplifts your energy field. You know that it's not real.
Mm.
You know that it's not a real kind of a reality like that. So then you can see it clearly. And it makes it less and less possible for those things to occur to you.
Mm.
See?
Well, it seems like the error is the me and the not me, that there's a me and then there's something outside of me that can threaten me.
Yes. Or
And
something outside of me that can save me.
right, yeah, just something outside that
Yeah, like there's anything.
can either be a threat or an advantage to me.
Right. You can say that the body is projected outside of you because it's like a projection. You could say it's like a projection, like on a movie screen.
Mm. Hmm.
You can say it's like on a movie screen and like you're watching it. It's a
Right.
projection on a movie screen. It's not like you're out there on the movie screen also moving it like that. It's like it's completely projected from you.
Well, it's just like sitting in the movie theater where you're looking at the screen and it seems like it's in front of you, but it's actually being projected from behind you. So
Yes.
there's the light, there's the camera and film, and then there's the screen that it's projected on. So
Yes.
that spirit is the light, your mind is the projector and the film, and the sensation is the movie screen, but it's all your creation.
Yes. And body is a symbol of the mind. Body is a symbol of the mind. So,
Mm.
in the body's energy field, symbolically, that's what those feelings are coming as. They're showing you the resonance of the thought right now that's making that feeling.
Mm.
You don't have to be thinking it to know it. You don't have to recognize it or anything. You just know it and accept that, and then the feeling has no kind of power over you. It has
Mm.
no dominion over you. You're not feeding those thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, we can be fed from within.
That's right. You get all your power. You get all your power from within, which you do anyways. You can't really get power from without. Like you don't really get the power from eating food, for instance. That's why when it comes to eating food, like even just thinking that the food is nourishing on its own, is making yourself separate. So
Mm.
when that thought comes up, it's just a matter of accepting the correction for it.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell by the way it feels. You don't have to do anything tricky in your mind. It's just like there's a way that that feels, and that load can be lightened right now.
Mm.
And the way is just shown to you. It's not like dueling thoughts, like that's not true or something. But it's like, oh, there's one of those ones. Like that's like I need this. What do
Mm.
I do if I don't get this? I can't have the nourishment. It's different from just enjoying it without attachment to it. And the other thing is, as if it can do something like make you fat. I heard a couple times this past week. It was so funny and fun. Naughty foods. Naughty foods.
Oh, like sinfully delicious desserts that are unhealthy.
Like it's yummy, but it's going to be bad for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That for one thing, that makes compulsive behavior because it's just saying that something, oh, you like this, but it's bad for you. For another, it's a total defilement to
Mm.
you. There's no way you made stuff, food, that you like, but it's bad for you, really.
Mm.
If it seems like that, if it seems like that to you, if it seems like that to you, then admit that it seems like that to you, but that isn't really the truth.
Mm.
That it's actually bad for you or fattening or anything like that. If you're eating it and you're getting those effects, then that's there to be corrected. That's all.
Yeah, well, nothing's good or bad, but thinking makes it so. They say if you
Yeah.
can see it, hear it, taste it, touch it, or smell it, it has no power. All power is in this invisible. And so anything good or bad, if you think something's bad, then you're reading health books on experiments on what this food did in a case study of people or something. And
Right. Or
by
you're basing it on your own feeling. You're basing it on when I eat this particular food, I feel gassy.
right.
That doesn't mean that that particular food actually gives you gas. But if that's your perception, then yeah, stop eating that shit.
Hmm.
Just stop eating it, but recognize that you made it up. And then
Hmm.
watch what happens. Then watch what happens. I'm not
Hmm.
kidding. If that's something that that you're willing to let go of, whether or not you're still acting it out doesn't matter because that's just on the surface. You're
Hmm.
willing to do it. You're willing for it to be untrue. That belief, you're willing for that belief will be untrue to be untrue. It will be undone.
Hmm. Hmm.
You're not willing, it will not be undone.
Because it's all in your thought.
Yes. Just admit it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just admit it. That's
Well,
okay.
and it's
It's not that
another.
anything's wrong. It's just a testament to how powerful you are.
Yeah, but then that's another victim consciousness. You're a victim to this food that makes you gassy.
Well, sure. I mean, especially if you find yourself eating it or you have to try to like be like maybe it's gluten. That's a hard one. You have to make sure that there's not gluten in all the shit that you're eating. So
Right.
you're
Yeah.
thinking about it all the time. So good. It's a good opportunity.
Mm.
It's like, oh, yeah, you go to a restaurant and you look on the menu and you're like, okay, I have to have the gluten-free one. So, because if I have the gluten one, it's going to be just look at that
Mm.
and
Mhm.
laugh and still
Right.
get the gluten-free one if that's what you feel good about.
Mm.
Get the gluten-free one if that's what you feel good about. But
Mhm.
know that it's a possibility to go in a restaurant and it does not freaking matter which one is chosen. Doesn't matter which one is chosen. For one, you don't have a choice. For two, you don't have to argue with the choice. So you just don't have to argue with the choice. That's the only difference. Choice is still made.
Yeah, well, the gluten free is just kind of a fad. Everyone's talking about how bad gluten is, and then, everyone's got this.
Everything is a fad. All of them
Right.
are.
They're all fads. That's
They're
just
all
it.
fad.
Well, it used to be, fat was bad for you. And now they're saying, no, the problem isn't fat. It's fat is good for you. The problem is sugar. Sugar is what makes you fat. And,
Yeah.
the latest trend in the fad thinking fads.
Right. It's just it's all like that. It's all to lead away from just taking joy in that particular experience.
Hmm. Hmm.
Taking joy in that particular experience of tasting and chewing food and feeling it go down your throat and into your belly and the feeling that you get when you're full, when you're feeling full. It's just all a projection. It's all part of the play. And there's like this movement away from enjoying it to calculating about it.
Hmm.
It's weird.
Well, that's why for me, this idea of transcending survival by form is something I'm discovering, is that once you realize that, then you can enjoy form because you're not limited by the form. You can be in a form, in a body, or in a planet, or wherever we're supposedly alive in, flat, round, or whatever, and just like you say, enjoy it, have fun, and experience it, and not have to think about it at all, really.
Yeah, you could be just fully engaged in your experience, whatever that happens to be.
Right.
Whatever decisions you seem to be making on the surface about like what you're going to do. And, like when the decision came out yesterday, I was actually yesterday at Wisdom Dialogues in person in Pahoa. Michelle's actually, to be exact. Um, it came up, oh yeah, what about hiking from Mackenzie to Pohoiki, and this is like a new lava flow, and a lot of people have hiked it and said, oh man, I would never do that again. I got so cut up and stuff. It was so bad. And then yesterday at Wisdom Dialogues at the end, a friend of ours said, hey, that trail, it's gotten a lot better. They've mashed it down and lined it with coconuts, and there's markers and stuff. And we're going first thing in the morning. It's like, oh, cool, that sounds so fun. First, there's that sounds so fun. And then there's like, oh, my schedule's clear too. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I'm going. And it's like, I don't make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's just all decisions just happen. That's like just it's just so spontaneous. We don't recognize it's spontaneous because we pursue thoughts as if we're the decider.
Mm-hmm.
See? So then it seems like we have to decide it right.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas these things are just coming. The thought that, oh, your schedule's open tomorrow. Like not that there's any, not like there's any past or anything. It just so happens that, oh, your schedule's open tomorrow, and oh, motivated toward that. But there's no actual person doing the acting. All the acting is by consciousness. All the acting is by one consciousness.
Mm.
See? So it's only whether you're identifying with that which is acting or not. If you're not identifying with that that's acting, you can be completely engaged in the action and experiencing the action in as a as that body, through that body sense, and you can get the full effect of it, the full ride of it, and it's really fun.
Mm. Well, so this invisible, it's like a transparency for for the light to shine. The window has got to be clean. So then the thought creates residue, creates that generates shadows.
Nothing sticks though. That's the thing. Nothing really sticks.
Yeah,
So
right.
you don't even have to clean anything off because nothing's really stuck there. It's just a
Mm.
matter of seeing that what seems to be stuck there is nothing.
Uh-huh, right. Yeah. What is a shadow? A shadow is nothing, right?
Yes, like a shadow, a mist, however you want to look at it. It's nothing at all.
Mm. Hmm. That's right. So you can do nothing about nothing.
Exactly. There's nothing you can do about nothing except for recognize that it's nothing.
Right. And so that's nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. The key word is nothing because it's
Yes.
all.
Yeah. It's completely meaningless. but that doesn't mean, to disregard it because it's meaningless. Like, oh, it's shitty because it's meaningless. It's like you can be fully engaged in the meaninglessness as yourself, though. As
Mm,
yourself. That's the only way to be engaged, anyway. As who you really are. Otherwise, you're just being run around by the ego. When
mm,
you're engaged in it as yourself, all that I'm saying is allowing more and more relaxation in the body's energy field, because that's who you are. So
mm,
any upset, any sense of upset, it is representing a thought that's being projected into form,
mm, mhm,
projected into form through that emotion, through
mm,
that through that emotion and belief that supports it. Here's the thing. Someone asked me today, did you did did you have any sadness over your house being taken by lava? And you don't really have the sadness. It kind of arises on a pattern, and it's like it offers itself to you. There's a feeling of sadness. It offers itself to you, and it cannot stay there unless
mm,
you're willing to feed it.
mm,
There are
mhm,
thoughts that will be offered that will feed it, that will keep it going. I could see how this is a temptation. So,
mm,
yeah, when this thought came up in feeling combo, like that I could perceive, a thought and a feeling came up about how sad that is. And it was just kind of like, oh, there it is.
mm,
And then it just passes because it doesn't
mm,
have anything to support it.
mhm.
See? It's like, oh, there it is.
Well, the sadness is being attached to the form.
Yes, it has to. It has to. Because it has to be fed by has to be fed by the emotion that plays out through the form. So it's very dependent on the form.
Yeah, well,
Because
who you are is identified with your form, your car,
yes,
your house, your possessions.
sure,
And so that's
sure.
sadness because I've lost, what I've identified with. This is, I've invested my ego, my sense of
And
self
then
in.
that voice is also not my voice.
Mm, mm-hmm,
See? It's not my voice. So I don't find myself talking to myself like, Hope, come on. That's like just not even, it's not even personal. It's not even personal to Hope. It's just
mm,
like, it's just a freaking coming on a pattern.
mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter.
Right. So
It
you
just
just,
rise and pass. It does not matter what it's about. It can be about anything. It just rise up and pass.
mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's when it can be the transparency that can just pass through without any obstructions that will then give it power or feed it more.
That's it. Yep, it's just allowed to pass. That's the healing, you could say, because it diffuses the energy of that emotion. It diffuses the power of that emotion, since it feeds off of body energy like that.
Mm, mm-hmm,
It feeds basically body identified thought
mm, mm-hmm,
is what it takes to support it,
mm,
to uphold that feeling, to
mm,
uphold that sadness, that sense of separation.
mm-hmm,
So the healing is available just by allowing it to be that, the past. And here's the thing. Here's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about that transcendence kind of feeling. Um, Ascension is another way of saying it. It's like it's rising. The energy is rising, and it feels intense. It feels intense, and then at that intensity, there's an opening. There's an allowing to see through. And from there, from the height of it, it's like a whoosh. It's like an up. It's like an upward, and you can have that all day.
mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. To rise.
Oh yeah, it's a rising all day. It's like you're supported all day,
Mm-hmm.
all night.
Not
It's
a fall,
available all the time, 24/7.
not a falling in love, but a rising in love.
There we go. Yeah, because there's no danger in it. You're not hurting yourself. You're not setting
Mm,
yourself up for a fall.
mm.
See?
That's right.
Not,
You're afraid to take the plunge, but because you think you're going to fall, but if you leap, you'll fly.
Yeah, I mean, the more you're accustomed to feeling that, kind of like on the wings of love, you could say, the
Mhm.
more the more it just occurs for you, because it's like, why go the other way? Doesn't make any sense. There's no motivation,
Mm.
There's really not a motivation for that.
Yeah, well, it's all that dead weight in your head that falls and crashes.
Yeah.
All
Yep.
right.
All that dead weight. Yay. I
Okay.
love
Wow.
you.
I love you. Let's fly forward and upward. I love you.
Okay, aloha, Bob.
Aloha. Mahalo.
Mahalo to you. Yay. That was fun. Okay, so what made your hike seem epic in your perception? Oh my goodness, there was so much. So much. Just yeah, Mackenzie, first of all. These are you could say, you know, places are kind of like people, like they're a structure of thought, and um, they represent certain energies for you. It's really fun and nostalgic. It's been 5 months since the lava flow, and that's how long it's been since I've seen Pohawiki. And in that time, there's been so much different, so much, so much fun and difference. And it's just going back and visiting after the lava flow and looking up. And I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure I could see where our house used to be from down by the black sand beach, because I see a fissure line and it's smoking. And it looks like it's on the exact same flow field, like it just came right down there from there. And you can see like they're little cones. It was in the distance, they look like they're about this big. They're little cones with smoke coming up. Beautiful, beautiful black sand beach. Um, Walked across the flow field to the road that I used to drive down a lot to go to ecstatic dance mostly and meet my friend. Oh my goodness. Yeah. That area where I used to meet my friend, I think that got covered. Walked right over it. Walked right over it. That's awesome. And then the warm pond where I used to soak all the time, it's still there. It looks, it's the same place. It's just different, more vines grown over. And Pohoiki, oh my goodness, the beach, all the sand. Yeah, amazing. Perceived duration, auspicious occurrence, feeling, all of the above. Well, it's all a feeling. Yeah, I love the warm pond too. So you were probably talking about the big warm pond, Lori. I'm talking about this little hot pond that's right there at Pohoiki. I don't know if you've been to that one before, but it's kind of hidden. You walk down a path and it's small. I don't know, maybe you have. But the warm pond, the big one, that one is full of lava. That's not. Oh, okay. Perceived duration, us. No, just a big one. Yeah. So being there was like seeing an old friend. Oh yeah, it was, and the warm pond especially, it was so amazing. Um, there's there's been so much, you know so much, I guess, communion in the warm pond, because there's all kinds of people there that you don't see. Like, as you know, um, one of my friends called them devas. I feel like maybe fairies, angels, that kind of stuff. Um, they, I like to just lay on my back in the warm pond and float and just receive the energy, the energy of those loved ones. Yeah, that with whom I've shared a lot of, you could say, time with. So it was really a blessing to go back and be welcomed there, feeling so welcome there too. And I was the only physical person I ever saw as I was in there. Everyone was there for the beach. I made the beeline straight for the warm pond and never saw another person while I was there floating my back. I don't know how long, but until until it was till it was finished, I suppose. Yay! You see it? Oh, you see it? Oh, cool! I'm so stoked. So being there is like seeing an old friend whose outward appearances are not exactly what you remember. 15%. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's still, it's not like, oh, it's even the part that's covered by lava. It's like, oh, that's gone. It's like, you know, it still is the same as it ever was. The changes didn't even occur. It was never vulnerable or anything like that. And it's still the same friends, you can say. It makes me feel stoked. It's fun. Um, there's another one up here that you said. It's lava still flowing. No, it's off gassing a lot. It hasn't flowed since August 4th. You can see on one of my pictures I posted on Facebook, there's cones. You can see cones and there's lava and you can see it coming out of the cones. Yeah. So it's doing that. And even where we were hiking over the new flow, it's hot. Like there's steam coming up. It's hot and there's a little bit of an aroma. It smells pretty good to me. I like it. Yeah, it's nice. So perceived duration, auspicious occurrence, feeling. So it all comes down to a feeling. Yay. It all comes down to a feeling. So no matter what it is in the perception, whatever I'm describing and all that kind of stuff, it all comes down to a feeling. And, the more love that's shared, the more love that's allowed, you could say deeper the feeling. And wherever love is not allowed, that doesn't last anyways. It doesn't even last. It's not used for anything. It's just completely meaningless, and it kind of like goes by the wayside. So, yeah, there's like the story behind the feeling, which is awesome and it's fun. And it all comes down to a feeling. Okay. And it all comes down to that. So it could be, you could have like, the perfect perceived duration. You could have the perfect perceived duration, but it doesn't feel quite right. Then it's not epic still. See? It's like it's just like, um, you're if it's a kind of, oh, you know this is wrong or bad, or say one of your hiking companions that you're with, you end up thinking about, I don't know why they made that remark to you or something like that. That changes it. Doesn't matter. It changes it. Doesn't matter how great and beautiful and turquoise blue the water is and everything like that, because your mind has now been focused on and carrying on while on this what could be epic hike into kind of shitty hike. And what's funny is a lot of the times injuries will occur in situations like that, and a lot of times they go unnoticed, but injuries might occur in situations like that, um, where it's unnoticed. It's always, the manifestation is always given you as gently as possible. But when things go unnoticed, it's like the spirit needs to get your attention. Aloha!
Hello?
Hooray! You're on, my love, Lori, and your beautiful hand.
Am I? I don't hear me. Do you hear
I
me?
hear you. I
Okay.
hear you.
Um, in the beginning of the talk tonight,
Yeah.
you were, that's why I said WTF, because I was like, what? You said you didn't go anywhere.
And you're saying WTF about that? I'm
Yes.
going to say WTF back to you then. How do you like that? I'm just kidding. Go ahead. What's your question?
Because I went to Florida, or
Yeah,
this body went in a plane and back,
seem to.
went to
Yeah,
drove
seem,
down.
seem to. Yeah.
Seemed to.
Yeah,
Okay.
so then it can't, when you recognize that it only seemed to get on a plane, that's not really a true thing. Nothing happened. Like so you look, up until this point, nothing happened. Memories just occur to you. Okay. So it's like if you're sitting in Florida right now and you think that you got there because you went on a plane, you're making shit up.
Right, that's tough.
Well, that thing is being projected from you right now.
Right,
Oh,
because it's living in memory, which is only thought, and it's gone.
right. Right. Yeah. It's just that's what, that's what you thought you needed to perceive in order to, that's what you think right now. Let's say it like this. That's what you think right now, or you believe right now, needs to be true in order for you to perceive yourself being in Florida. That's what's fun.
Why would I need to perceive myself being in Florida?
Why would you need to?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I'm saying though. Look at, we can go to that question too.
Look
But
at
but but look, it's not that you need to be in Florida. It's not that you need to be in Florida. Um, it's just that you know you need to in that moment believe that you took that plane in order to perceive yourself in Florida. In order to believe that Florida being in Florida is real. Otherwise, you would think it was a dream. It's like, wait a minute. In order for you to perceive that it's real, you have to have a way of getting there.
oh,
Like,
okay.
isn't that funny? You don't need to be in Florida. You're not even in Florida. Florida and your body are both projected, kind of like projected outside of you. It's like onto a screen. It's really coming from inside of you. See, it's like a movie projector. It's really coming from the picture's really coming from inside of the projector, but the projection is outside. So you can say your body is a projection, and the world and the Florida is a projection outside of you.
Oh, I can see why you're laughing. Don't you? Don't you? I mean, it sounds so preposterous. Oh my God, I can't say the word.
It sounds preposterous to you?
Yeah. Okay. So the body is a projection.
Yes.
Everything outside is a projection. So,
Everything is a projection. You can say it, you could say it is outside of you. The projection is just like, like if you're watching a movie, that projection is outside of the projector, right? But
right.
the actual picture and light and everything is coming from inside of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's
So,
what I'm saying. Like, but what you're seeing, the perception, the feeling, body sense, and all of that, that is outside of you because it's a projection. This is very feel so real projection. The body sense makes it feel real as if you're in it.
right.
It's actually
Okay.
projected outside of you.
Okay. For what?
For what?
Yeah.
Why is it projected outside of you?
Yeah.
Because that's how you can get guilt into a form that you can recognize. And in a form that you can recognize, you can see through it. So it's like you're projecting guilt into these forms, and they are projecting back to you what it looks like, and then you can see through it because you can feel it. You can sense what it is.
Okay, into what forms?
All of them. They're all finite. It's the whole thing. It's the whole world. It's your body and the whole world.
Okay, right. Because without the body, there is no world. So, but what is
There's no body either. So
right?
yeah.
So, what does guilt have to? Guilt is what makes me believe that I'm this body.
Yes.
Okay, so the world. So the deal is what we're trying to do here, or so to say, seemingly, is to see through that guilt.
So yeah, just see that it's meaningless. Recognize that it's meaningless. And here's the thing: we don't have to do anything because even this is being done. It's just allowing. All there is, even this that seems like you're learning about something.
Yeah.
It's like that you already really know because you can sense it. You can sense that. It comes like that. And so it's actually being played out on its own. You're not really doing it. So it's not like we're trying to do anything here. What it seems like is trying to do something, that's just the ego.
Right.
No one needs to do anything. It's just unfolding.
Okay, it's unfolding.
Even
And
you coming to wisdom dialogues is just like part of the play.
yes, which makes it seem like it's a path
Yes.
to see through the dream.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't a path, a seeming path,
Well, it's just your function, and consciousness is playing out that function. So all there is for you is to one of them is recognizing what the function is, accepting what the function is. See,
when
you're
you say
accepting
function,
what the function is.
what are you
Huh?
talking about? What do you mean by function?
As in the function of the body, like what it's for, like recognizing what it's for. You just recognizing and accepting what it was made for, and then you're not trying to use it for your own purposes. It just unfolds way simpler and easier, but you don't even have to do anything about that. When you just hear that, you're hearing it as consciousness. You're allowing yourself to hear it. That's the most awesome.
Ah,
You don't even have to do anything. You're like the blessed of the blessed, you could say, because you're allowing yourself to even hear it. And if you stop trying so hard, then it just starts to manifest itself, or it starts to unfold even more.
okay, so everything is pointing to me. Everything I'm hearing is just stop.
Yeah, relax.
Just stop.
Yeah, kind of like think of yourself as floating down a stream in warm water.
That's awesome.
If that feels good to you, you can make something else up if you want. But
No,
that's what works for me.
so the stopping is
Weightless.
would be like stopping listening to you, stopping listening to Hare Shanti.
Can't help it though.
No shit.
So it's a thing. It's not that. It's
Then
a,
what
it's it's the thoughts that identify you to it. See, you're not doing that. You don't have anything to do. There's nothing that is required of you. It's automatic. You identifying with it as in this Lori trying to get somewhere
Yes.
is is the block to it. You could just have fun. You could just come, you if you find yourself on Wisdom Dialogues, if you
Mhm.
find yourself on Wisdom Dialogues, you could just have a kick-ass time because there's nothing to do. There's nothing to get. You just happen to find yourself on a Wisdom Dialogues episode. It doesn't fucking matter.
Oh, most of them are me.
Are we having fun though?
Yes,
That's the thing.
definitely. That's why I would keep coming back. If
Yeah.
I wasn't having fun, I wouldn't. We do a lot of laughing.
Yes. And the thing is, laughter is so powerful too, and there's nothing that's not worth laughing at.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I find myself laughing more than at anything else in my life.
Yeah, there you go. And so it's only this thought like that you have to get to something, you have to get to something that makes some kind of block for you. But see, any kind of perception you're having a perception, right?
Yeah.
Of Lori being sad or anything like that. Any kind of perception. That doesn't mean that you aren't there yet. That means that you gave that sad Lori perception to yourself to see through it right now. Right now. To recognize what this is. Recognize this is, one way of saying it is it's projected outside of you. Lori is not sad. You can see through it right now. It's up to you right now. You're not bound by it. But since you think you're bound by it, it makes it ongoing. Like this is something you have to get out of because Lori's not there yet.
Right.
It's
And
like,
also another thought that says, um, who is Lori to be quote unquote enlightened? Enlightened.
how funny. That's a funny one. You have fun with that one?
Um, I'm not sure.
See, that's also a feeling. Remember, everything's a feeling. This is totally emotional, so that's also a feeling. Who is Lori?
Right. It goes to the worthiness, which is part of the self. Yeah.
Yeah, what makes that question really fun is that there's a feeling of uncomfort that arises, and you don't have to be engaged with it
Right.
as if it's a problem or anything, because it's nothing.
Right. That's where I seem to be after the past week being seemingly in Florida with with um my aunt's boyfriend. This guy is very, very opinionated and very oh boy, he's a challenge for everybody. And I stumped him. I actually had him throwing up his hands and leaving the room, which never happens. Everybody away from him. But when he started asking questions and I was giving it to him the way I see it. He was like,
Yeah,
"What? You mean to tell me?"
that's so fun. I love that.
It was so much fun. And when he was getting heated and um I could feel the burning.
Hmm.
I was watching the burning inside and letting it burn.
Yeah, isn't that good?
Freaking burning. Yes, it felt awesome. I can't even
Yeah,
saying that, but it did.
yeah.
Anything that was taken personal, I was what? It was like I was a super sleuth or something. Show me. I'm going. I was thinking
Like
of
a
you.
volcanologist.
Yeah,
you're, you're examining the volcano.
yeah, exactly. Oh, it was cool. And I was so introverted the whole week. The whole week I was very inside. Normally I talk
Yeah.
constantly, and this was more of inside. It was pretty cool. It's different.
How awesome. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to see differences, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I didn't go anywhere. So it's a perception of going to Florida.
Yeah, so you see how a lot of different thoughts, a lot of different monkey mind kind of thoughts play into that,
Yeah.
as in you had to come up with the money for it, and if you want to do it again, it's like this, and it's like all these ideas come up about it as if you actually traveled there, because there's no place like that. It's still a projection. It's still being projected from you. The plane ride's being projected, everything. It wasn't dependent on any plane ride for it to be what it is right now. Like for me to be perceiving right now this house and this land and ponds and dogs and stuff did not take anything from the past.
Didn't take anything from the past.
Yeah, it didn't need to, that there's nothing that needed to happen before in order for this to be. It just seems like that. This is just a projection though.
Because this is a continuous now.
Yeah, yes. And it looks like, things are dependent on other things, but that's why, that's the reason that we don't just perceive ourselves going, okay, Florida, and then like Florida's there, you know. It's
Yeah.
from believing in these limitations, from believing in, which is not a problem. It's not like to try to go, okay, I just have to see myself in Florida, or because the more you try, the more you push it away anyways. It's just in noticing that sense of limitation. The sense of limitation is a body sense. And recognizing that it is not true. There's no, I need to get out of the house because you're not in the house. That's where it started with. You're not really in the house. You're projecting that. When you recognize that you're projecting it going out and coming in and all that stuff, it doesn't matter so much. It's not such a big deal because it's all the same. It's all feeling. And then, yeah, it's everything's feeling. So then, what I notice is, lots of different things seem to just pop up. Like I'm not trying to have all these adventures. It's like something just goes, oh yeah, hey, we're doing this. What do you think? And just like, oh yeah, man, that sounds good, and you're there.
Yeah.
But that's because there's not a bunch of blocks to it. It's not like, oh, I gotta, oh, I gotta get out and do more things or anything like that. It's just like automatically like, oh, that's there. And then there's other times where there's more time that's seeming to be in the house. It's just never a problem. So things just go the way they are, awesome, because there's not any blocks to it.
Or should.
Yes.
Yeah.
And look at how they're so automatic, and it's not to project guilt about it, but noticing they're just automatic. Like I told someone this morning, yeah, I'm meeting some friends going hiking, and he goes, yeah, automatic, it just comes out. I should do that too, and see, that just automatically comes out because it's showing you something. And if you pay attention, you'll even see that there's a little bit of an upset feeling with that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
All the things. Yeah.
And the thing is, when it comes to upset feelings, there's no degrees. So a little bit of an upset feeling is just as much of an upset feeling as one that's like super intense. Not saying that it's bad or anything, but that's what it is. It's an upset feeling. So, just like the regular everyday kind of conversation where you hear, yourself or even another person, that's helpful too. It seems to be coming out of their mouth, whatever. It's all on the screen. Doesn't matter whose mouth it comes out of, yours, theirs, doesn't matter. It's just a matter of recognizing that that's not really true. And it doesn't mean you have to tell the person. You might find yourself telling the person because you don't have a choice in that, but it's not like there's any pressure on there that like you have to do anything about it. It's just a matter of recognizing, oh, that's not really true. Because when someone says that and you hear that, you also share in that kind of feeling that goes along with it. And when you sense that, it doesn't really rely so much on the word, but I think you get the sense that I'm talking about here, that when you sense that feeling of should, you have dominion over it and it changes it.
Mm.
It transforms you. It transforms your energy. See, so it transforms like your body's energy field, you could say. So then your perception gets lighter, and that's what's called a happy dream. Your dream gets happier because it's allowed to, because you're seeing the things that make it unhappy.
Ah. And should is a big one. And if they're saying the should, that is for me.
Yes, it always is because, and it's not for you in a way like you're holding anything or you did anything or anything like that. It's for you because you can see through it.
Right, right.
Because it's for you because you're fucking awesome, actually.
I've been noticing lately, how you were reiterating over the past few weeks of how when something comes up in somebody else and basically it's for me to see and I don't need to react, and I haven't been reacting.
Nice.
Especially with Peter, that is so beautiful just to we went to see A Star Is Born together. Oh my God, Hope, this freaking movie is the most emotional. But him and I were bawling. We sat in the car after. At the end of the movie is just brutal, and Lady Gaga just freaking blows it out of the park with that song at the end. And we were sitting in the car, like looking deeply into each other's eyes. And I said to him, there's never been anything wrong with you. You are here to wake me up from this dream. The shit that was coming out of my mouth was, I wish I had it on tape because it was so beautiful. And I saw that whole all of this making him wrong. Oh my God. I think that's why it killed me so much watching that movie.
Oh my goodness, that's so awesome.
Yeah, I really, really was all this time making him wrong.
Yeah.
Ugh, wow.
Good stuff, huh, Lori?
It is good, but boy, whew, Jesus.
Yay.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's such a good movie. I actually saw it today with Holly. I saw it when it came out on Friday, saw it with Peter on Sunday, and saw it with Holly today.
Great. You really like it. I'm gonna have to check that thing out.
It is the most emotional movie I've ever seen.
How funny.
So well played. Jesus. No, what the hell
I
was
was like that with Jurassic Park, but it wasn't because it was emotional. It's just because it was funny.
fun?
Yeah. Is it called Jurassic Park? No, not Jurassic Park. Jumanji. The one with the rock.
The new one?
The
The
one
one
with the
with
rock.
the one with the real people. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The one with the rock in it. And who else? Kevin. I don't know.
Hart.
I don't. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, Kevin Hart, and then the guy from School of Rock.
Yeah, okay, so I haven't seen it. So you really liked it?
Yeah,
Because I haven't seen the
it's
original.
super funny. But I've played a lot of video games too. So if you play video games, then it's really awesome because it's like video game format.
I never played video games. I mean,
Oh,
Pac-Man.
you'll like it. It's really good.
I love Pac-Man, but that was it back in the day.
You might relate. It's really funny.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yay! I love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll talk again soon. Aloha.
Okay.
So yes, yay. So if you have a perception of something, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. I had one friend ask me, um, this past week. I've been having a perception of guys who basically say this to me, whatever they're saying to her. What is wrong with me? I'm so going through it. And I was like, those guys just aren't for you. That's like what it is. Those guys aren't for you. If they're telling you something about yourself and you think it's actually about yourself, then yeah, you're going to get more of that. You'll just get more of that because you think that it's really true. It's really think that you really have to change something to be lovable, right? You're not their kind of broad, is what they're saying. So there's not anything you can do about that. There's no need to do anything about that. It's kind of directional. But if you make a deal out of it, like you need to change something, then you get more perceptions of the same guys seeing the same kind of problem with you. Guys who see that kind of problem with you. I'll give you, for instance, too, in my own experience, my own perception, however you want to call it. When I was younger, like around 20 years old, I was a little bit chunky, and there were guys, I would find myself with guys who would say that I needed to lose weight. Like, oh my God, I needed to lose weight. And really, not really noticing that, but I thought that I needed to lose weight to be lovable, to be like someone's girlfriend or something like that. So my focus went on losing weight, and then all I would see are guys who thought I was weighed too much. The guys that thought I weighed, and then, it just occurred to me at some point that it doesn't matter. It doesn't actually matter at all, like at all. It doesn't matter. And then I see it. But it's like you have to know it before you see it. One way Jesus would say, belief comes first and then seeing. I describe it more like knowing it because it's the truth. It doesn't matter. You're making it all up. It really doesn't matter. I guess you could say you have a choice in what you believe. Believe in limitations, or you believe in limitlessness, when it comes to dreams. Believe in limitations or limitlessness. Limitless, you could say it's not even so much of a belief because it's not firm, because it's open, it's limitless. more like a channel. For whatever it is that just leaves everything wide open. You're not stuck. Your consciousness is not does not have a problem. Why you're attracted? If you're attracting a certain kind of person, you're making a big deal about that. You're just making a big deal of it. If there's something about you that might change on the surface, like say your breath stinks. Okay, say your breath stinks. That's what they're saying. Your breath stinks. And you're like, yeah, fuck, my breath really does stink. And you recognize that actually doesn't matter if my breath stinks. That actually doesn't matter if my breath stinks. You will have if better breath is something that that the partner that you're drawn to, and that's something that partner that you're drawn to would prefer, and that's something that would make you happy and everything like that. It's going to come around. It's going to be made manifest for you so much easier if you recognize that it doesn't really matter and it's not really happening. Same thing with a pimple, okay? And the perception of a pimple manifesting on the tip of my nose, on the tip of my nose today. First thing is, there is no pimple. There's no pimple. There's nothing in there that needs to come out. There's nothing in there that needs to come out. And then just watch what happens. I find myself actually putting my fingers up like this and going like that, and still recognize there's nothing in there and there's nothing that needs to come out. So in that, it doesn't get to some kind of extreme weird, like breaking stuff open or anything. It's just exactly the amount. It's just exactly the amount that's perfect. Just the exactly amount that's necessary. You don't have to try to gauge it or anything, because you just know. Because you know it's not real. You know it's not necessary. You know it's not even necessary for it to be popped. Yet you're having that perception. It's okay. It's still not real. It's still not real. And it doesn't matter whether it's there or not. See? And then these things don't turn into some kind of problem, or some kind of an emotional problem, because it's all emotional. It doesn't turn into something that you've got to do. You don't do anything, that's why. So it's not about the perception. It's not about, oh, I can't touch it. Trying to control the perception. It's just recognizing that is not what it seems to be. That is not what it seems to be. And it doesn't need any certain amount of care or attention or anything like that. Whatever shows up is for the same purpose. It's always for the same purpose. It's always for restoring the mind to peace. And that's the function of the body, nothing else. Yeah, you could say to heal the mind, and then, the mind's already healed. It's not really like that. It's more like the healing is more like a correction of a misunderstanding. That's the foundation of all physical experience. That's why it's something that not very many people at this point in time are super interested in, because the whole foundation of the experience, the whole foundation of the dream, the whole foundation of our identity, that is in question. That's in question. Okay. So, hooray. All right. So, if anyone has any questions for me, please raise your hand or write it into me. Let me see. Does anything else want to come forward? Just that there's nothing for you to do, okay? To learn, expand, there's nothing. You're already perfect. What you perceive as imperfect is not you. That's not you. What says the things is not you. Why am I this? It's not you. You don't have to try. Just have fun. You don't have to try. There's a little bit of willingness. A little bit of willingness, where things seem so real and so heavy. Just a little bit of willingness. See who you are right now. You don't have anywhere to go. You don't have anything to learn or anything like that. It's just an instant, and you are able to see that in as much as you're willing right now. But if you think you have somewhere to go, you're not willing. You think you have somewhere to get, you think you have something else to learn, another wisdom dialogues to do, whatever. If you think you have something to get, then that's not willing. That's not offering up the willingness. That's wanting that more. That's wanting that idea that you have somewhere to go more than recognizing right now. To recognize right now, it has to be your first priority. It has to be the thing that you want the most, more than getting something, get something somewhere, becoming someone, becoming that enlightened version of yourself or whatever. Okay. You know, just allow a little relaxation anywhere. Allow a little relaxation in your belly. Allow a little relaxation in your thought. Allow a little relaxation anywhere. Invite it in. I can have peace instead of this. That's one of the Course in Miracles thought for the day. I could have peace instead of this. Let that in. Okay. So hooray, everyone. Oh, here's the essential oil I've been playing with. It's called Trick or Treat, coming out in a newsletter soon. A little newsletter I have coming out in a couple days. Akea made it. My daughter Akea, she made it for someone who wanted to bring the Halloween spirit into her house, and she also likes to wear it as a perfume, and so do I. I think it's great. What's in this baby? Clove bud super, frankincense carteri, ginger, vanilla, butter, and orange. Yes, we have butter essential oil, and it's extra delicious. It's actually a CO2 extract. Trick or treat. Yay. Oh, by the way, that's at miraclebotanicals.com. We're an essential oil company, in case you didn't know that yet. We offer essential oils, the best essential oils, we think. Great selection. I haven't seen a selection like that anywhere. I don't test out everyone's essential oils, but I know that we get whatever we take to be the best in the world, and we put them in these cute little bottles and offer them to you. And they're infused with love. They're infused with love. You know what that means? Well, they're in our environment, you can say, right? They're in our environment, our mind environment. I've discussed before. The environment is outside. The environment is also a projection. Whole environment is a projection. Well, this projection is also made of thought, and as consciousness, we are relating with thought. So always when we're relating with these essential oils and being as we are and accepting ourselves for who we are, everything in our sphere of influence is infused with love. Yes. Yes, you can sense it. You can sense the energy here in my bedroom. I spend a lot of the time in the essential oil room, where a lot of essential oils are, and spend a lot of time being in there, walking back and forth, making blends, and always, always, always sharing love. Everything is love infused. Everything that we offer. Everything. Isn't that for fun? So yeah, miraclebotanicals.com. Wisdom Dialogues. Oh, everyone, Wisdom Dialogues is taking a break again next Tuesday because I'm going to the Kona side. I love you, Lori. I'm going to the Kona side, so no Wisdom Dialogues next Tuesday. There will be Wisdom Dialogues in person because I don't leave until Tuesday morning. And then I'll be back the following Tuesday and pretty much every Tuesday because I love it and I love you. Where are you going? I'm going to the Kona side, which is the other side of the Big Island. Tony's brother and his wife are on a Hawaiian cruise, and they're staying for a couple nights over on the Kona side of this island, and we're going to go hang out with them. Isn't that cool? That'll be fun. And of course, bring our, Kona side, the other side of the island. And of course, we'll be bringing our lovely essential oils and see if that hotel where we're staying might like to carry them. That's always fun. Yeah, I forgot what it's called. And then Wisdom Dialogues, wisdomdialogues.org if you want to see my videos, okay? Wisdomdialogues.org. And The other one is Facebook group. To get the Facebook invitations to these, you can go to Facebook.com/groups/wisdom dialogues. And if you're not on Facebook and you would love for me to put you on my list for Wisdom Dialogues, just send me an email to hope@miraclebotanicals.com. Yay! Thank you so much for joining. I had so much fun as usual. And yeah, thank you. I love you. See you in 2 weeks. Aloha and a hui ho!